Hello and welcome everyone to another edition of Coach's Corner. This side a men's lacrosse version. Here sitting down for the first time this season, Scott Marr, our reigning America East Coach of the Year. Thanks for dropping by, Coach.
Thank you, Zach.
Let's start off just with the expectation for you guys. You guys are ranked 7th in the media poll, 8th in the coaches poll, preseason favorite to win the conference. Do you address the expectations with your team, or is that something you try to silence, or do you embrace it?
No, I think we've embraced it. I mean, the last couple of years, we've done well. We've won the conference. We've been in the playoffs. So I think the expectation on the players right now, is that we are going to, repeat again as champs, and then put ourselves in position to be in the playoffs. So, you look at Blaze Reardon's a junior who's been the starting goalie for 2 years. He's been to the tournament 2 years in a row. So his expectation is he knows nothing else but to be in the playoffs. So that's a good thing. That's a good feeling. We don't shy away from it. We don't blow it up either. We don't make it a big deal. Again, being ranked in the top 10 or preseason 13 or whatever we were. Again, this is just numbers at this point. It's the beginning of the season. We know what our goals are as a team and what we want to accomplish and where we want to go. So we don't try not to look at those numbers too much, and we just kind of play and do what we have to do.
We just referenced those goals. Is that something that you go through at the beginning of the season, and do you write them down? And is there a chronological priority to them? How do you go about that?
Well, we have our first couple of days of practice. We get them back a couple of days early when there's no school, so we have some time with them, and we sit down and we talk as a team about what we want to accomplish and what we want to do. And this year we're kind of approaching it a little bit different. Our ultimate goal is to win a national championship, and that has been our goal, since I stepped on campus 15 years ago. But this year, last year we talked about it a lot. We do a word of the day with the kids every day, and a lot of the speeches last year ended up with us talking about a national championship. We told them this year we really didn't want to talk about it so much. We all know that's our goal, but we really wanted to focus on just the day-to-day process and really, the old coach's cliche of taking it one day at a time. But it really is so important. Those are cliches for a reason, I think, but it's so important that we just worry about, today in practice, what we had today, and then tomorrow we'll worry about practice tomorrow and getting better. So I think that approach has been good for us so far, and we talk about the pace of play and how we want to play, and we're not talking about our next opponent or what it is, it's just that day. So it's so far so good. It's been a good approach for us, and the kids have really put in a strong effort, to start the season.
Well, you got off to a great start here at Drexel in Philly, a team that had beaten you 5 consecutive times. Yeah. You guys get some payback and a resounding victory on the road.
Yeah, it was. And, I think those types of things you try not to talk about too much either, because this team is different than the ones that have lost in the past. But, we did kind of feel that urgency to kind of get a win against these guys. It's been 3 or 4 of the last 5 games have been 1-goal games. So it's not like they've been blowouts, they've been close. And we've been right there. So, our approach to this one was, hey, we got an opportunity, first game of the year, be a great way to start our season, with Drexel. And, we had a nice countdown going actually from the fall to our first game in the locker room with the numbers. So, definitely, you're not human if you don't think about that. You know what I mean? You have to as an athlete. And as much as we want to say we don't, you really do, but you just try not to make it become the whole, the issue. You don't want to overcome the actual, thought process between, about the game itself. So, when we got down there, we got off to a good start. We're up 3-2 at the end of the first quarter, and then we lose Lyle for the rest of the day. So the response from the team when he went out, it could have went 2 ways. They could have put their heads down and said, oh my gosh, the best player in the world is not playing anymore, and what are we going to do? And instead, what did we do? We reeled off 6 consecutive goals and really took control of the game. And you could see it at both ends of the field, the urgency by the defenders, by Blaze in the goal, by our face-off man, and then by our offense to really step up, and show that we can do this, without Lyle. And that's a very comforting feeling for everybody. I think our confidence really grew as the game went on, and that's something for us moving forward is really important, that we can play, and we have other people that can play other than Lyle.
Well, I want to ask you about something you just referred to in your last answer, your pace of play. You guys hung 15 goals on the board, and I think conventional wisdom, over the last couple of years, you lose Miles Thompson, you lose Ty Thompson, and you may say, well, they're going to take maybe a step back offensively, but not the case. I mean, 15 goals against a ranked opponent.
Yeah. I think, again, the approach that we've taken from the beginning of the year, and Coach Wolf has really been the main cog behind this, is the pace of play and our pace of practice. We've practiced so much faster this year. We've taken a couple of chapters out of Chip Kelly's book for practice purposes and really tried to up our tempo in practice so that when we get to the game, For our defense, it's a lot slower to play another team's offense, but then for our team in general is to be able to push that pace of play. So that's been very interesting for us, and again, it's proven to be something that is nice. But we talk about losing Miles and Ty, which was huge, and we replaced him with Connor Fields and Seth Oakes, and Connor has 6 points and Seth has 4 goals. But you lose Lyle again at the beginning, so now you don't have all 3 of them. And you look at Jay Cullen has 2 goals on man up, a sophomore attackman. Bennett Drake has 2 goals, sophomore attackman. Then you have Seth with 4 as a sophomore. Then you have Kai with 1. Then you have Fields with 3. And then at the other end of the field, we replaced Cody Fuchsia, Doug Ike, and John Newhouse, 3-year starters on defense, with Stone Sims from California, who didn't play at all in the fall, AJ Cluck from Calgary, both freshmen, and then Jim Burdett, sophomore, and Josh Babcock as a junior, and then blazing the goal as a junior. So an all underclassman, basically, defense as well, and those guys step up and do their job. So to hold a team to 8 and then for us to score 15 in that first goal was, again, confidence on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, certainly a complete game. Well, let's look ahead. Your next contest against Cornell in Dallas, Texas, of all places, going to be a big crowd on hand. That game is important, obviously, because it's on your schedule, but a bunch of other stuff going on at the same time, right?
Yeah, it's what they call the Patriot Cup, and we've been invited down there. It's a Wounded Warrior Project game. There's youth games and high school games either before or after our game. Our game's at noon, so there's some games early, and then there's some games late in the day as well. And then we'll be doing a host of clinics and stuff like that. We'll be there for 3 days, so we'll do that Thursday, Friday. So we'll do a couple clinics with some youth groups and stuff around the area. So just an exciting time. Very nice of them to invite us and to get us down there. And we're bringing the cold weather because it's only supposed to be about 45 degrees, but that'll feel about like 80 for us at this point.
Yeah, no question. All right, well, congratulations on your great start, and best of luck here in the next couple weeks.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that'll do it for this week's edition of Coach's Corner. As always, you can check us next week, and we'll recap the Cornell game and look ahead to the rest of the non-league schedule. For Scott Marr, I'm Zach Bye. We'll see you next time.